I think that it's going to hit. Yeah, so there's going to be, I don't know, six Facebooks, and it's all good that it's live and people are looking at us now. It's going to take a few minutes for people to show up anyway, so.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, but we are live, so don't say anything crazy, all right? Or say something crazy. It's all good.
I don't have much of an editing system, so it doesn't really matter to me. Yeah.
Well,
hey, are you in North Carolina also?
Mm-hmm.
Fayetteville, right?
That's right. What's up, Danielle? Yeah. Where are you at, Charlotte?
Yeah, I'm in Lake Norman, closer to 40. Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. Awesome. How are you feeling this morning, man? How are you feeling?
I feel great, man.
Yeah?
I always feel great.
Why do you feel great? What about today's got you feeling great?
Well, you know, I'm kind of in a stage in my life now where I do whatever I want. So that's a great feeling once you revisit that thought when you open your eyes in the morning. So imagine if you could just cut out all the things you don't want to do all day long. It's a mood enhancer.
That's right. Yeah. So besides this, what do you have planned today?
Well, you know, I couldn't script it, man. I ordered a C8 Corvette back in August of 2019. No, 2020. And 18 months later, it just arrived today. So I do the EXP explain at 10 a.m. As soon as I get off this, and then at 11, I'm gonna roll out there, write a check, and pull the car out.
Oh, what color?
Matrix gray.
Really? Oh man.
I didn't want anything too flashy because I'm in my mid-40s and I don't want to be that guy, but it's kind of a nice, subtle, cloudy color, you know?
Right. We just had one of our agents buy one, or her husband bought one.
Yeah.
And then he flipped it on the secondary market and made some good money on it and just bought it. It's brand new. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. So my MSRP on that was like $77,800, and the dealership offered me $100 to not take the car this morning. But honestly, yeah, you know, I want the car. Even if I don't make any money on it, I drive it for a year and I break even. That's a great experience, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so one of our agents are watching right now. She said they made $18,000 on the flip.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So at 100, that would have put me at like 22.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so let's just cut right into it. Thank you so much. I know you got about 30 minutes, so I really want to maximize your time. I will say for anybody who's watching this, ask questions. Do not wait till the end. The end will show up, and then it'll be too late. If he does say something you do have a question about, go ahead and type it in the comments so we can answer it, because probably somebody else is thinking that as well. So if you don't mind, Rich, tell everybody who you are, what you do, how you do it, and all that good jazz.
Okay, so my name is Rich Tomasini. I'm 44 years old. I've been selling real estate since I dropped out of college back in 1999. I joined EXP in the fall of 2017 solely to build revenue share. It was a leverage model that I wasn't able to iterate on my own, so I decided to borrow it. And I started to grow EXP in Charlotte. We were doing about 40 million a year in Charlotte in production when I came aboard. And this last year we closed 3.5 billion. So we're the number one office in the Charlotte MLS, which is 15,000 agents. And I brought over 55 agents to the company. 43 of them have had a sale in the last 6 months. We call those floor qualifiers. And then my total group is 1,900 agents. So So that's kind of what I do now.
So I'm putting in the comments, hit that heart if you heard billions.
Yeah, 3.5 billion. Yeah.
That is awesome, man. That huge congratulations on that. Obviously, that's a big feat. And you really can't, and tell me if you agree with this, you really can't grow to that level unless you have other empire builders, other leaders within your organization helping you scale that thing out as well, correct?
Yeah. So, you can't scale a hero unless you're, in a comic book. So, when I looked at my front line, I sort of looked at it as the second tier of a chessboard. I don't want pawns. I wanted to get people that could do things that I couldn't do. So I strategically went out and had conversations with people that had different skill sets to make me more well-rounded and offer a better package for all of our people collectively.
Right, right. Okay, awesome. And then we do have a question. One of our agents asking, how many people do you call to share EXP with every day/week
Yeah. So
on
Danielle,
average?
yeah. So listen, I took my medicine early. I got over 40 in 13 months. So I was calling probably honestly, I don't know, 10 agents in a 2-hour window once a week because I was doing $40 million of production. Right.
Right.
So it was it was a secondary job. So I would moonlight, like Brent Gove said, I just followed the recipe. I cut out 2 hours on Fridays. I had sold a lot of real estate in the town that I live in, and I think I had like 815 sales. So I just went back and started
Wow.
calling everybody from the most recent to the most dated, and then after that first year, the last three years that I've been here, I reach out to people that are at a level that really intimidate me, and I might only make one or two DMs or calls a month. So that's my personal involvement. I spend almost all my time right now is getting on third party calls, framing conversations, structuring teams, talking to brokerage owners and influencers and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, definitely looking for more of the
Yeah,
big well, the big movers, the proven people who have built big organizations and reach out to them. And
yeah,
it's pretty cool because I feel like life is testing you to say, hey, do you really want to reach out to them? If you're feeling a little uncomfortable about it, that's a great
yeah.
sign, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I'm from Miami, so I'm not really scared of much, even though I still feel the nerves and fear.
Right.
It doesn't paralyze me.
Right.
So, I think part of keeping our edge and not getting complacent and lazy and soft is making sure that we're actually leading by example. So instead of hitting singles and doubles, I don't need to score those points right away now. So I try to hit home runs. So I swing hard and I look stupid, or I crush a windshield in the parking lot, but not much in the middle.
Right, right. I love that. I love that. So there are a few questions, but I'm going to get to because you want to
Yeah,
share three things to really help you scale from 0 to 4,000. So
yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and just ask the first one, which was selling before the relationship can support it. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so when you added me, what are three mistakes people make? So this is the inverse part of how to build it. I'll give you three things to do and three things to avoid. But to answer your initial framework of the conversation, I think that we have a lot of agents that are calling other agents they have no relationship with, and they're selling them over the phone.
Mm,
And your ratio of conversion is going to be like a clock. You'll be right twice a day, but most minutes and seconds you're wrong. So what happens is if
right,
you find yourself defeated 99.9% of the time, you quit and stop, and then you give up on the dream. So what I would say is I would spend more time engaging and connecting and building relationships and offering value and increasing your prowess in what you do before mentioning EXP or partnering. You
right.
know,
And I would almost say that that truly goes for any company that is looking to grow
yeah,
their
yeah.
organization. Build
They all are.
relationship. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, 100%. They have
yeah,
to. It's the only way of survival. For
yeah.
you, have you ever heard of Gary Vaynerchuk?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So he's
The
got that book.
branding. Yeah,
Yeah, jab, 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 right hook, which is basically value, 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 value. Then ask for the business.
ask.
So,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that part. If you don't mind, what's one piece of value that you give to them, or do you keep it more of a wife YFM type of deal? So what's in it for them? What's in it for me? Like, how do you deliver value? How do you know when to deliver value? What does that look like?
Well, so like, I've been pretty dominant on Facebook. That's the only social media that I'm on because I get depressed if I'm on too many. So I
Okay.
try to take small doses.
Yeah.
So on Facebook, I probably posted 5,000 narratives on EXP, and I pretty much explained the framework. Like everybody's walking up a staircase and I'm walking up in an escalator, and people wondering why in the hell am I going so much faster than them? And I'm saying I'm burning the same calories, man. I'm just as tired as you are. I'm on a
Right.
platform that
Mm,
that pushes me further and is less taxing. I won't have to walk as long on my platform. And then, I've been very vocal. I had a video that I put out, like a 90-second video on my YouTube channel, and it's like I explain EXP in a 3-lane highway. You got lane one selling real estate. We all know how to do that. We speed, we take chances, we risk collision, we break down, we get pulled over by the cops. We know what that looks like, right?
right.
Every brokerage is comparing our brokerage to their brokerage in lane one, but we have two additional lanes. Lane two is earning stock, the 5 ways you earn stock, the ability to get your icon money back for a producer like I was. That was a no brainer. And then the third part, you know, the stock went from $2.87 to $175 since I've been here. So that hasn't been a terrible experience. And then the third part is this revenue share, which is really the aspirin for broken teams, right? You have team leaders at KW and all these other teams, and they're like, you know, their buyer's agents are making 30, 40, 50%. And then they wonder why they leave, right? So you got transition all the time. And, you know, with the modern revenue share, you can actually graduate from my team. I can show you how to be a team leader. You can keep your own autonomy, and you don't have to divorce the company or I try to do the best job I can in being just a person that articulated why I find value in this model. So that's how I got the word out as far as sharing information. Second of all, one thing I'm a big fan of is I'm a John Maxwell fan. I'm not a student. I just started getting into coaching like the last 3 years to help me build revenue share because I was deficient and I needed help. But essentially, you know, the law of the lid, right? So like a 6 doesn't follow a 7. A 6 follows an 8 or a 9. So like make sure that your sales game is strong. If you're doing $2 million of business and you're talking to $8 million producers, it's going to be tough. I mean, you have to be one charming person, right?
Right.
But I mean, if you're doing $20 million of business or $15 million of business and you're iconing, you know, it's very easy to show other people that are in your arena how this looks financially for them.
Right. If you're not on that level, how could you get on that level?
Well, so like that's where I spend my time coaching. So like one of the questions is, do I coach my front line? Like, hell yeah, that's why they came over to me, right?
Yeah, same.
So and with EXP, you know, it's easy to do it because I don't have to charge them anything. So what happens is you have to learn how to sell real estate. So I had a couple of newbies. I had Stephen Custers, Stephen Pierce, Alexis Hughes. These guys all came over like in their late 20s and went from 3 to 30 million in 3 years. And it's because they picked one of the triangles to sell real estate, which is use buys low leads and help put us out of business. Fine. You want to do drop $10,000 and do that. The other is to farm neighborhoods, which is going to take longer, but being a listing agent is you're king of the kingdom, right?
Right.
And then the other is if you have no money and you have all the energy and drive, it's just call, make cold calls. So mostly I'm dealing with broke people that enter the real estate business. So we start with how to pick up the phone and make calls. And you call enough FSBOs and you call enough expireds and you get the lay of the land and you're aggressive and you put yourself to a little pain every day. And before you know it, you got 25 listings and you're just doing maintenance.
Right. And at that point, they're looking for more leverage. They come to you on asking, like, what does this leverage model look like? They start bringing on more agents to help them handle the lead flow. And at the same time, they don't have to necessarily be pushing your brand. They could be building their own brand, their own organization, except we all benefit from it, right?
Right. So that's the experience conversation. That's exactly right. So what's even better too is that like if I would have had them on a traditional team at my last brokerage, they would have had to pay me, you know, 50% because we had so many hands in our pockets that the margin that I was making off them was at the expense of their opportunity. Here at EXP, we get paid on the backside. So you could get paid on the front side, but we're a real estate company in the world. Can you bring an agent over that's doing $7 million a year? And you could say, hey, listen, come over with me. Anything I give you, you give me a 30% referral, but anything that you do on your own, you keep all your own money. We have so much freedom. There's no birdcage. It's like the whole zoo, right? So
yeah.
There's a lot to look at in the team structure.
100%. I had somebody ask me because you know, I was at anyways, but they were like, hey, you know, what's the biggest change? Like, what's the biggest change? I was like, freedom. I was like, you know how creative we have been? Like, we've just gotten super creative because we've seen the same issue where people would leave teams for 3 reasons. One, like you said, they're split. They'd end up looking at their account. Number 2, they wanted to build their own brand. Or number 3, they wanted to work both buyers and sellers, not just buyers and not just sellers. And we see that influx coming in. So we started just getting creative with the different models, and it started to explode. But people are allowed to grow into their own opportunities, just like you said.
Imagine being on a team and you're not allowed to handle a listing. That's like having a steak dinner and you're not allowed to eat the steak.
Yeah.
So anyway, look, I mean, we just have to start calling out what's obvious. Other brokerages are running teams in a self-interested way. It's beneficial to the brokerage. It's not even beneficial to the team leader, and it's certainly not beneficial for the team member. So let's reshuffle the deck, get outside of this whole old matrix that's antiquated, that makes you like a tenant paying rent for your brokerage, and come over to an intuitive platform where it's really your business powered by all the stuff you don't want to have to create on your own.
Right. And escape the liability too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of liability.
Most importantly. Yeah.
yeah.
100%.
All right, and then so I'm gonna ask this question real quick. By the way, love that you're preaching, man. You're really preaching that energy, and we're feeling it. We're feeling it. So I love it. But one of the questions is: go after individual agents or small team leaders to start? Question mark.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the word to start makes me think that you should go after individual agents. You know, I don't throw spinning back kicks on my white belt gi, right? So
right.
you know, learn the basics: how to onboard an agent, how to keep an agent, how to retain an agent, how to make sure they're successful, how to make sure they know where to get the answers. Otherwise, they're going to be a burden to you and feel that way. They don't want to feel like a burden. So kind of you know, get that out of your system. Once you get that out of your system, start working on small teams. And then once you get small teams squared away, then go after big teams and brokerages, because most brokerages are just big teams anyway.
Right.
So yeah, what I'd say is, so listen, I run a thing called EXP Family Tree with Elizabeth Riley, Hank Avink, and Mitch Ribach. We have nothing to gain. Nobody gives an email. We don't ever send an email. We don't poach you guys for coaching because we don't charge for coaching, right? So it's just kind of a collective place where a lot of people felt orphaned at this company because their upline just wasn't the right connection. So we do a lot of that training on there. So at 2:00 on Tuesdays, we talk about teams constantly. So like, go out there and like pull this information from all these different sources, build your playbook, and then apply it.
100%. And thank you guys for doing that. I was actually on the call last Tuesday. I'll be on the call this Wednesday. Cool. But yeah. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm going to roll to number 2, recruiting agents that aren't independent or don't aim to be independent. Go for it.
Okay. So, all right. So pretty easy, right? So low hanging fruit. Most people know somebody that's getting a real estate license because you can swing a golf club and hit fee realtors anywhere we're standing, right? So then you have 2 tasks now. One is teaching them how to sell real estate, and then the other is teaching them how to succeed in the EXP model and explain the model, why this is the right fit, right? I don't want to do 2 things. I'm better at doing one thing, right? I went to public school, pretty simple dude. Okay. So, Okay. So anyway, so my whole no college approach was narrow focus, go deep, figure it out. So it's not that I'm like allergic to new agents, because I was a new agent and I needed the help, and I brought over some new agents. I'm not being hypocritical, but to get somebody who's doing $2 or $3 million of business, you have a much better opportunity to bring them over to EXP because they already know how to do it. Like I have a 2.5-year-old, right? It's so much nicer that he knows how to walk and talk and do all that stuff. I have a 5-year-old who's a legend to the 2.5-year-old, right? So as you see the phases of maturity in kids, it's very relatable to real estate. So, you know, what happens when you have a new agent is at 11 o'clock at night, they finally are writing an offer. They're freaked out. They've answered some questions with the wrong answer. They're stressed out. They're calling you, and for God forbid you're sleeping. Now you're not being supported, right? So like, you can go through that rigmarole, or you could set expectations clearly. But I just think it's so much easier to get realtors, not get people who want to be realtors. Now, if you have somebody who wants to be realtors, I think you have to use a litmus test. Are you self-motivated? Are you a person that looks for answers on your own? Are you teachable? Most people are not teachable, right? Yeah. How bad do you want this? What kind of time commitment? What kind of financial investment are you going to put into this? If all those boxes check yes, well, you know, go for it.
You know, I had somebody reach out to me yesterday and they were like, hey, how long does it take for a newer agent to start making some money with you guys? And I was like, that has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
I was like, we'll help support you 100%, but that's on the individual. I mean, there's individuals who don't have anything, but they make it happen, right? It's because of the drive, their Northern Star, what's really pushing them, all of that. So totally agree with that. I'm going to move to number 3 because you got like 12 minutes, but I'm going to roll through it. Number 3, being quiet. Let's start with quiet. Yeah. Being quiet at illustrating the value this brokerage provides. Being quiet about it.
So that's a mistake. A lot of us are silently enjoying EXP, and some of us are enjoying it too much vocally.
Yeah. So 100%. Well, they say EXPing, right?
They're EXPing all over everybody, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing: is when you're having conversations. So like, if Ruben and I are at a different brokerage, right, and we're doing the same volume, say we're both doing $10 million a year, right? And we had a deal and we got along good, right? I'm covered in tax. I'm pretty informal. I think Ruben and I would find a way to connect on a real estate deal. I might say something like this, like, hey man, what you aiming for in 2022? What do you think the market's going to look like? And he'll respond, right? And I'll be like, what'd you do last year? And he'll respond. And I'll say, hey, I did similar numbers, although I knew it already. It's a rhetorical question, right? And I'll say, last year was my first year, if it's true. Never saying that's not true. You don't have the memory for lies anyway, right? So if it was true, I'd say, hey, last year was my first year where I was able to get all the money I paid in commission gifted back in stock. Crazy, right? In 2 more years, I'll be able to cash that thing out and buy myself a C8 Corvette today, right? So you start showing value where it matters, right? If Ruben was 62 years old, same guy, 62 years old, busy as all get out. The whole deal is talking about other deals. I might say, hey man, I don't know how you feel, but this hamster wheel is getting old for me. What's your game plan to get out? You got investment properties? Start some dialogue. And I think being curious and actually having mastery of what we offer might fill in some of the gaps that these people haven't been able to figure out.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's a mistake, is being too quiet, not asking good questions.
Yeah, when I first moved over, because I was at the Red Firm, which I learned a lot there. That was a great place.
Yeah.
Actually, when I left, I felt pretty bad. I was like, man, I'm gonna miss the.
Yeah.
I just felt whatever. So it took some time for me to actually talk about it. I was talking to one of my buddies who are obviously with this company. He was like, dude, you need to open up. You got a great story. You need to talk about it. And as soon as I did, you'd be surprised at how many people were actually in the same boat that I was, waiting for someone to stand up and voice their concerns and their opportunities, man.
Hey, listen, man, I'm not a Scientologist. I don't get wrapped up in cheerleading. Okay. So I think Keller Williams was the best real estate company on the planet for a long time. And I think they lost their way. And I think EXP is the best real estate company on the planet. And I think it could lose its way at some point. But right now, I can say with total integrity that they are really focused on the best things for us. And until that changes, I'm 100% committed, like a Spartan.
Right.
If it changes, then I change my opinion and I move on. So Keller Williams, if it would have stayed hungry and stayed true and not got so political, and the culture would have been honored, all the stuff that kind of gone wrong for them the last few years, if that was prevented, I think that they'd have 200,000 agents and EXP would have 500. So there's always opportunity, and right now I think this is where the opportunity's at.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where it goes back to where I was like, man, I really feel like there's freedom here where I could be me. I can do me. I can mastermind with others who want to be super creative. When I was trying to push that at the other firm, I was always told I was out of culture. There was a point where I was out of culture, and it was only because I wasn't following the model, because I thought there were more creative ways to build out team structures and business and everything else. Here, they reward you. I got a reward yesterday about training. So it's cool. It's cool to just be rewarded for creativity through all that. But I do want to switch it before you head out. Since you said this, that maybe, and I agree with you, maybe EXP in the long run starts to have their own downfalls. The cool thing about us is we have options. We can decide to move or stay or whatever. But what do you think, at least now, is a gap that we could fill, that you see as a gap at EXP?
Oh, well, we have a couple blind spots. I have a couple blind spots. Everything's got blind spots. I think blind spots right now for EXP is we've grown really, really fast, and we need better quality state brokers in some of the states. I think in North Carolina, we got 8 of them, right? But in some other states, I have agents in 47 states. Some states have 1, right? I think onboarding is still a little clunky, and I think that we can improve that. And I think the sponsor can help smooth that out with a little bit of communication and notice. And then the last part is I think that essentially your first encounter with EXP will dictate your entire experience. If you come over here and you're sitting in your boxer shorts drinking coffee at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you don't go on the world, and you don't see EXP Enterprise, and you don't set up your KV core, and you don't plug in, you're probably not going to understand why you're going to leave. You're going to say, like, I felt like I was on an island. So if it's really incumbent upon the person who brought them over to familiarize themselves with our tools. And if that's done properly, I think that's why we do so well, because most of the time it is. But occasionally it isn't, because we're all people,
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. And I'll let you go in 1 minute so you have time to prep for the other thing. Yeah, you got it. But 100%, I totally agree with you. That was our biggest downfall when we first joined EXP, and we're very honest about it. Yeah, it was the onboarding part. So
when did you come over, Ruben?
2 years ago, 2+ years
Yeah.
ago, probably two
Okay.
and a half ish.
So I came over in August of 2017, and it's gotten better every year.
Oh yes, it has.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
So
disaster when we
it
first
was
got, but
tough.
we
Yeah.
we built our own onboarding that now
So do we.
yep, now and I tell everyone to save the link, not the document, because it's a living document and we're constantly changing it. We have
Yeah.
onboardings on Fridays, but what I say is, like, the gaps that you've mentioned,
Yeah.
if you have surrounded yourself with the right circle or jump
Yeah.
into the family tree and workplace, then we have systems to make sure that bridge is covered.
Ruben,
You aren't alone.
you got to come into the family tree, man. Your
Yeah.
energy's good. You're iterating information. You care. I mean, grab a slot in the calendar and train your people through there, because when you go on vacation, we got 4,600 other people that can help support your folks, so you
Right.
can actually put your cell phone away. So
Right.
just an open invitation, something for you to think about after respond right away.
Too easy. I'm gonna let you go. Is there anything last phrase or anything you want to throw at everybody while you head out of here and on to your next thing?
Yeah, man. If you can't stop working in the next 10 years, something's broken, and you broke it. So figure it out. Do some research. Listen, I say yes to every job interview and no to most of the jobs, right? So stay open. Don't let somebody else that has a biased interest control the narrative. Don't let somebody else do the thinking for you. Don't outsource the critical thinking. So anyway, and have a great 2022.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
awesome ending. I'm gonna be taking bits off that, but awesome, brother. Thank you so much. You go ahead and sign out. I'll probably stick around just to answer any questions, but get out of here, brother.
Ruben.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, buddy. Okay, have a nice day.
You got it. All right, bye. All right, what's up, everybody? So he killed it at the end. And by the way, what I want anybody to take away from this is that what he was talking about, you can implement with your team at a different firm. I mean, obviously, he's very much rooted into EXP because of what he's accomplished. 4,000 agent team within, what was that, 4 years? No, 4,000. It says at the bottom. It'll scroll here shortly. But that's a lot of people in such a short amount of time. But he's able to expand because there's not the human element of greed within each office. If you want to do an expansion team, there's none of that. It's all virtual, and it's very, very easy to move through it. We got Andy. He says, I'm not even a real estate agent, but lots of good insight. Andy, thank you so much, brother. Andy, what did you get at? Like, what was the biggest thing as not being an agent? What was the biggest thing you got out of this? I will say at the very end, when he said, don't allow others with biased thinking control your narrative, right? He said something like that. That goes with everything, man. To think different is hard, right? To think outside the box and not be tied into this echo chamber of things that other people want you to accomplish, and to think different and to think of your own goals, your own family, who you are, and move forward into that. And like he said, he was like, at the very end, he said, he'll take all job interviews, but he won't take all jobs. Some of you guys are blinding yourself so quickly. And again, I'm not just talking about EXP. Maybe it's getting into investing. Maybe it's starting to learn a little bit more about passive income, right? Maybe it's just to get out of the biased narrative that your people are pushing, maybe that you're surrounding yourself right now. Take more opportunities, listen to it, open up your mind, build up pros and cons from that, and then make a decision from there. But let me see. Love your energy and your heart. Thanks, Andy. I appreciate that. Clearly, I do. But I will say I'm surrounded by pretty badass people, right? It's not just me. I got other people like that dude who fills me up too. Take all interviews. Yep. Love that part. Taking all the interviews is asking to just network and learn what else. Listen, I did that all the time. Even when I was at KW, I would take job interviews. I had somebody offer me a salary of $250,000 a year to run a firm here. I've never told anybody that, and now I'm telling everybody that. Very prominent person in our community, very highly respected. But at the time, I felt my duty was still to grow that Keller Williams office at a certain level. I was the CEO there at a time. So I was dedicated to the results that I wanted to see and what I wanted my people to see. And I turned down that salary. And you better believe that like quadrupled the salary I was getting paid. But I was in it for the vision. But I did go to the job interview. I did listen to them. I almost said if they were a boy or a girl. I remember to keep it real low on that. But I still went. I still heard the opportunity. Thanks, Andy. But what else? Does anybody have any lasting questions? I know this is all over. It's on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, all type of groups. Anybody have any last questions that maybe you want to throw at me? Hey, I'm a transparent guy. Just throw it at me. Before I head out of here. It's almost 10, man. What a great time. It ended very well. It is 10. But what questions do you have? If you don't have any questions, obviously I'll get out of here too. But don't close your mind to more opportunities. I do like what he said earlier too, where he was like, if you don't feel like you're worthy enough to go to the next level, maybe you need to step up, right? I'm gonna had a cough. Maybe you need to step up to that next level, which I thought was awesome, because he puts ownership back on you to take action. So, best top trainings for new EXP agents. Is that a question? Where to start? Oh, okay, that is a question. All right. So you know what's funny? EXP World has, and by the way, anyone else who has questions, please just hit me with it. EXP World has about 50 classes going on a week. So there's a ton of stuff. But I'm gonna probably point you in two different directions if you're a newer agent with EXP or just a newer agent. Number one, they have a fast start series. Yes, that's something we go over. You will be aligned with a mentor in your area too. So definitely boots on the ground, hand holding type of stuff. I'm a certified mentor as well. So helping you out with your first 3 transactions through that, but they're gonna push you through what's called the Fast Start series. It's for beginner agents. It talks about how to get into the business. We just had a broker in charge who was running her own business, her own team, not with a franchise, independent broker, come over with our organization here in North Carolina. And I was talking to her yesterday, and she was like, I asked her about the Fast Start series, and she loved it. And she's been in the business forever. So imagine that. So that'd be a great source. We already have that. It's called the Fast Start series again. Number 2 would be we support our own people too within our own organization. Outside of the 50 plus classes going on a week, outside of Fast Start series, we roll it to our own. What does that look like? Number 1, onboarding, blah, blah, blah. That's not really training. After that, we go over business 101, business 101. With that, we build out your calendar. We build out your business account, tax account, business credit card. Talk about entities later down the road. What CRM are you going to use? You can use KV Core, which EXP gives you that, or you can use another one. The best CRM is the one you use. So we start outlining the very basics, the foundation to your business first. We don't just start saying, all right, make some calls to your circle of influence, sphere of influence, expireds. No, we build the foundation first. So that way, when you do start building that stuff, it's on a solid ground. So you got that. And then we roll into what we call database work or just expansion of the business. And that's when we start putting you in the highest conversion of lead conversions. And that's your sphere of influence. But we have a systemized way for you to do it. And you could do it as a part-time agent or a full-time agent. It works either way. So 50 classes plus going on a week with an EXP World, Fast Start series, and then what we do to catapult our agents. I hope that helps, Melinda. What other questions you guys got? What other questions? Thanks for being engaging, y'all. I appreciate it. Especially for him, too, because that cat, he's killing it. He's killing it. Who thought it might be kind of difficult to grow a 4,000-person team in 4 years? This dude said he just jumped on every Friday, 2 hours, every Friday looking for talent. Wow. But that's how easy it is to expand. Whatever. I'll get into that a little bit later. But what other questions? Anybody else have any questions? I know this is like all over the place right now. So, I mean, the videos. I hope the quality's good. I bought a new camera. It looks darker to me, but maybe it looks fine in here. But yeah, what questions? Anybody else got any questions? If not, I'm going to head out. But I do want to be here to answer any questions you guys got. If you did like this, 1, hit a heart. 2, share. I might give away something. Share it. Share this video. And number 3, let me know what you got out of this. What did you get out of this? Put it in the comments below if you enjoyed this. Drinking my water. What else? Guys, I have 12 meetings / appointments today. This is one of them. Busy day. But we still want to be here for everyone. This is the free value we give to everybody. Doesn't matter. You want to hear something? Since I'm not seeing anything in the comments. By the way, just do it. heart, share, and let me know. Let me know what you got out of this in the comments. Could be anything. Could be anything. I reached out to, I got a list. I want to say it was the top 50 or maybe top 25 of our MLS. And I reached out to a few chosen ones, and I asked them within our whole MLS, and I asked them, hey, what are your thoughts getting together and putting on basically a panel for all the agents within our community? No matter the firm affiliation, no matter, that doesn't, I don't care about any of that. What about we just get these top producers from different firms and give value to our community? I reached out to the ones. Guess how many said yes, they would love to put on, which I think I was going to call it Borderless Breakout or something like that, because borderless, get it? There's no borders because we don't care about firm affiliation. Guess how many said they do it? I'll let you guys guess in the comments. I'll let you guys guess. I got energy out of it. These principles apply across. Yeah, that's right. Woo, Andy, you the man. Definitely enjoying this. By the way, guess how many, top 25 or top 50, how many said yes? I would love to sit on a panel and give value to the community. Definitely enjoyed this. It's encouraging to know all the ways to grow and earn revenue. Yep, outside of regular transactions, there's so many benefits. Listen, I can't see your name who said that. We have identified 9 different ways. 9. So could you imagine the type of business that you could get creative and create? It could be sales. It could be mentorship. It could be you focus on the stock because we get paid dividends. Like, there's a lot. 2 out of 10, 15. Goose egg. Not one. Not one. They either didn't return my text messages, or they ghosted me, or they simply said no. Oh, what's up, Danielle? Danielle. Danielle's one of our peeps in Florida. I think we connected on Clubhouse too, man. I haven't been on Clubhouse in forever. Womp womp on me. But yeah, so goose egg, guys. We want to show up here, man. We really do. And if I have to drag somebody from Charlotte, North Carolina to jump on here and deliver value, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep bringing value. If you don't know, Be More Training's first and third Wednesday every single month at 9:30 a.m. My buddy Mike Glaspie, living in Charlotte actually right now, but he does the first Wednesday. I do the third Wednesday. So show up to the next one too, because I'm going to have the vice president of Exp on. I believe that's the next one. I want to say yes to this, that it is the next one. I'll tell you right now. Yeah. Yep. Vice president. I'm going to have the vice president of Exp on the next one. But yeah, fools. Yeah, publicity. They obviously did. Well, here's the deal. Like, not even publicity, but like, can we just, things are so old in the real estate industry. Things are so old. A lot of old hands, and I don't mean like in age, I mean in mindset, is holding on to how they feel the real estate world should move forward. Guys, it's a different world. It's different people. And what if we created some type of panel like that where we gave value to everybody? Don't look at it like a competition, right? Look at it that we're going to be giving value to up-and-coming agents, up-and-coming teams, up-and-coming firm owners. Like, we have the experience to give out for free, and why aren't we doing it? But it's harder to pull that old mindset into the game. Doesn't mean we stop, though. We'll keep showing up here. Any other last questions, comments, or anything like that? If not, I'm going to head out of here. But I do this for y'all. Hit that heart if you loved this this class, this Be More training. Hit that heart. And share and put it in comments. But I'll head out at 10:10 since it's 10:09 if there's no questions, concerns, or comments. But thank you. I still want to say thank you so much for y'all showing up. If y'all want some merchandise, there is a link in the description of this where it says real estate merch, where we have all the states and it says real estate in it and a couple other stuff. We got this one, which I'm going to do a video on, which is called Lean Into Disruption. Lean Into Disruption. This is where we make our largest gains, is in disruption. But all right, I'm going to head out of here. And If there's anything I could do for you, reach out to me on Instagram, YouTube, comment, DM me, Facebook, whatever, and I'll make sure to get the answer to you. But thank you so much for showing up here today, and hope you got a lot of value, and make sure to share. Adios, y'all.